watching NBC4, connected to you. Live from the area's leading news station, this is News 4 at 11.
She was missing for 10 days. Now police have found her body and arrested her boyfriend. Evening, everyone. I'm James Adams.
And I'm Shannon Bream. Jessie Davis's mother says she prayed her daughter's boyfriend was not involved in her disappearance, but now he is facing charges of killing Davis and her unborn child.
Police arrested Bobby Cutts Jr. today, 10 days after Jessie Davis disappeared. Leanne Gregg has more on the investigation.
After an extensive search, law authorities recovered a body believed to be Jessie Davis, a 26-year-old woman who'd been missing since last Wednesday. Davis was 9 months pregnant, and police said they believe her boyfriend is the killer.
We have placed Bobby Cutts under arrest, and he is presently in the custody of the Stark County Sheriff's Office.
30-year-old Bobby Cutts Jr. fathered Davis's 2-year-old son and is possibly the father of her unborn daughter. The Canton police chief said Cutts, who's a police officer, will not be given special treatment because of his position in law enforcement.
No organization comprised of people can ever promise perfection or guarantee that one of their own won't go astray. The real measure of an organization, especially in regard to law enforcement, is how they react when a problem like this arises.
Davis was last heard from in a phone call with her mother last Wednesday night. Her mom found her home in shambles 2 days later with overturned furniture and her 2-year-old grandson alone. Since then, thousands of volunteers searched areas near Davis's home in hopes of finding her, and now heartbreaking news. Cutts will be arraigned Monday on 2 counts of murder, including the death of the unborn child. Leanne Gregg, NBC News.
To learn more about the Jessie Davis case, log on to NBC4.com and click on News. There you will find images, video, and interviews from her hometown.
A fire rips through a home in Fairfax, leaving a family with almost nothing. That fire erupted around 3:30 at a house in the 4800 block of Oaks Crest Drive. And officials say the cause was something many of us have in our own homes. Derek Ward joins us now to explain. Good evening, Derek.
Hey, good evening. Well, we're outside the Burke Volunteer Fire Department in Fairfax County, and you know what you see behind me is typical of what you see in firehouses today. Some of the most modern equipment out there, ladder trucks, pumpers, and the like. But you know, even with all this hardware, in some instances, in some fires, this isn't enough, as a family that lives not too far from here found out tonight. The family salvaged what they could from the charred remains of the house fire. It started at about 3:30 in the afternoon on the rear deck of the house at 4883 Oak Crest Drive. It spread quickly.
Units arrived on the scene and reported heavy fire to the side of the structure and at the rear. The side being the 2-car garage, and at the rear of the structure, the fire moving fast to the 2nd floor.
The blaze went to 2 alarms with more than 60 firefighters responding. 3 people at home at the time managed to get out safely, but one family member had tried to put out the fire with an extinguisher, but was overwhelmed. Even the professionals had to resort to a surround and drown approach. The flames claimed much of the inner structure and would not yield.
Firefighters had to fight the fire from the outside using some large hoses, master streams.
It's believed that a citronella candle may have ignited some deck furniture, and despite the seemingly mild nature of the fire's origins, experts say it's risky taking matters into one's own hands when it comes to fires.
When we recommend to our residents, if they're affected by a fire, the smoke alarm activates, quickly evacuate the structure and call 911 from the outside.
And while the property loss was extensive, no one was injured. And for that, even amid the smoldering aftermath of lives turned upside down, the homeowner is truly thankful. Now, in all, about 9 people lived in that home, and we're told that the Red Cross is helping them out tonight. So now they've got a place to rest and regroup and probably think about rebuilding. We're live in Fairfax County. Back to you in the studio.
All right, Derek Ward. Thank you, Derek. Well, fire investigators in Fairfax County say a gas meter may have caused a blaze at a CVS store. It happened about 6 o'clock this evening in the 9000 block of Silverbrook Road in Lorton. Authorities say the blaze started after a gas meter ignited. That fire caused minor damage to the roof and the back of the building. The CVS and 2 nearby stores were evacuated, and officials say no one was injured.
A Montgomery County toddler is expected to survive after falling 12 feet from a first-story window. It happened around 7:30 this evening at a home on 120 Mission Drive in Gaithersburg. The 2-year-old boy was taken to Children's Hospital. Officials say the toddler suffered serious injuries but should recover. The child's family was apparently having a small gathering when he fell from a kitchen window. Police are still investigating the incident.
Families of the victims in the Virginia Tech shooting met with Governor Tim Kaine today. Kaine invited the families to the state capitol after many expressed concerns about the investigation into the shootings. They say they want a bigger role on the state panel that's investigating. Kaine told them he would not add panel members, but he would consider making one of the members a liaison for families.
Generally, the idea of, is there a sort of single point of contact with the panel that family members can feel comfortable talking to, was raised. I thought, that's a very good point.
An attorney for some of the victims' relatives says the families also want access to some of the documents the panel is reviewing, including the gunman's private records.
District police are investigating a shooting that left a 26-year-old man dead. It happened around 4:45 this morning in the 400 block of Atlantic Avenue in Southeast Washington. Police say when they arrived, they found a man shot several times. Officials say there are no witnesses or suspects, but they're asking anyone with information to please give them a call.
Family and friends gathered today to remember two teens killed in a crash on the Beltway. The funeral for 18-year-old Lydia Petkoff and 19-year-old Sarah Carter was held in Fairfax County. Both died last week when their car collided with a tractor trailer on the inner loop near Springfield. Two other girls were also killed and a fifth seriously injured. Petkoff and Carter were cousins. Petkoff had just graduated from West Potomac High School hours earlier. Carter graduated from the same school last year. Authorities are checking out a small plane that flipped over while landing at a Montgomery County airport. It happened just before 12:30 this afternoon at Suburban Airport in Laurel. Emergency crews were able to free the 65-year-old pilot from his small experimental plane. Officials say Matthew Juratich was the only person on board. He suffered minor injuries and was walking and talking after the crash. Juratich was taken to an area hospital as a precaution.
Still to come tonight on News 4 at 11, another robbery case, and police believe the suspect may be part of a larger crime ring, one targeting Latino men.
An outrageous case of child abuse. Two people now facing charges for giving a baby gin and juice.
And caught on tape. Take a look at that. Tornadoes ripping through parts of Canada. And Steve, how about our weather?
Wow, that's amazing video. Our weather couldn't be any different. What a beautiful day today. Tomorrow looks great, but changes for the work week. We'll talk about it coming up.
Coming up in sports, a Redskins quarterback gets the MVP in a huge game. It's a rematch in the College Baseball World Series, and a base running blunder proves costly for the Nationals as News 4 at 11 continues.
Montgomery County Police are investigating a robbery case, and it may be linked to a series of robberies in that area. Investigators say another man was robbed yesterday on Veers Mill Road in Rockville. He was reportedly approached on the street by a man with a gun who demanded money. Officials believe this may be one of several recent robberies on the street targeting Latino men in Montgomery County.
Two and sometimes three use a handgun to intimidate the victims, and they also have physically pushed them down to the ground, punched and kicked them in their attempts to gain cash and property.
Police have released this composite sketch of a possible suspect, but they say there may be other men involved. The most recent victim was described as a different man.
A violent week for U.S. troops in Iraq ended with another day of deadly attacks. At least 7 soldiers were killed today in roadside bombings. 4 died in a single blast near Baghdad. Another died from non-combat related injuries. A total of 25 American soldiers were killed this week. Back in D.C., some people protesting against the Guantanamo Bay detention facility ended up behind bars themselves. About 70 demonstrators gathered at Lafayette Park. They wanted to draw attention to what they see as torture in the prison. The White House says it's only a matter of time before that prison facility is shut down. Some detainees may be taken to a prison in Afghanistan that the U.S. is helping to expand.
Coming up, we've got a forecast that a lot of folk are going to enjoy. It's going to get a little warmer out there.
But then it's going to get downright hot. Steve's going to have all your details up next. Police in Florida are dealing with an unusual case of child abuse. They've arrested 2 people, Heather Moore and John Bell, for allegedly giving a 10-month-old gin and juice. It happened in Bradenton this past April. The baby's own mother's also facing charges because police say She videotaped what happened.
That's just what happened. They were getting the baby to walk back and forth to the cup. And Miss Moore actually took him by his head and held his head back and tipped the glass up. Just like gulp after gulp. And it was after that that you could see a change in the baby.
That baby was not seriously injured, but now is in state custody.
7 astronauts are now back with their family and friends. Crew members of the Space Shuttle Atlantis received a brief homecoming ceremony today at an open hangar in Houston, Texas. The crew landed at Edwards Air Force Base in California yesterday after completing a 2-week mission to the International Space Station. NASA officials had to reroute the shuttle's landing to California because of bad weather in Florida. Talking about some bad weather, dozens of people are going to have to do a lot of cleaning up after some powerful tornadoes ripped through Canada on Friday. And one of them in Manitoba was caught on tape. Take a look at that. You can see it just tearing apart trees and power lines, and then it later destroyed 4 homes. Authorities say there were no reports of major injuries, and that's pretty hard to believe after seeing that.
It is.
Yeah.
And the people who are willing to chase after and get the video, did you ever want to do that? You're a weather guy. You want to be safely ensconced in the
Yeah, I would love to see
studio.
one from a distance.
Right. Well, that's as
But
close
never
as we need
chase
to
it.
get right there. No chasing.
Chuck Bell used to do that.
He did not.
We used to do it in Houston
He's a brave soul.
and Indiana.
Well, we like the way you do weather, too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. We had a spectacular day here in the Mid-Atlantic. It was just really, really comfortable. Now, tomorrow's going to be a transition day. Temperatures will increase tomorrow. We're heading into the upper 80s, a little bit more in the way of humidity. I'm just talking a little bit, but as we head into Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday, temperatures will climb into the 90s, the mid-90s, and the humidity returns. So summer is on. So enjoy tomorrow because it will be another lovely day with warmer temperatures. So here's what it looks like at the Jefferson Memorial. All is quiet tonight. We do have some high clouds drifting overhead. And in fact, the high clouds will help to keep our temperatures a little bit warmer tonight as opposed to early this morning. All right, so temperatures right now generally in the 60s and the low 70s. Tonight we're heading down into the mid 50s and the mid 60s. You can see that it is cool and comfortable from Washington up into New England, and dew points are very, very comfortable. Right now we have a dew point of 49 degrees, but we do have some humidity building right around the Mississippi River, and as we head into Monday, that's when the humid weather gets here. Not so much tomorrow. Tomorrow the humidity stays at bay. However, once we get into Monday, that's when dew points will climb into the 60s. So you can see the high clouds drifting overhead, and the high clouds again will act as a blanket tonight, keeping our temperatures just a little bit warmer than early this morning. And we do have a couple of thunderstorms off to the west, but these are eventually going to die down and then kick on off towards the south. And come tomorrow, we may see an isolated thunderstorm or two in the mountains. But for us, high pressure is the main player. This high will eventually settle offshore, and behind that high, the winds will shift and start to come in from the southwest. So on Futurecast for tomorrow morning, a couple of clouds out there. It's going to be a great day tomorrow with partly cloudy skies, temperatures in the upper 80s, and you can see that we will have a couple of thunderstorms possible in the mountains. And then as we head into Monday, that's when that area of higher pressure settles offshore, and behind it, we'll have a southwesterly wind flow, which will not only bring in the warm weather, but the humid weather as well. All right, so with that said, to recap, come tomorrow morning, partly cloudy, cool, but not as cool as this morning. Temperatures anywhere from the mid-50s through the lower 60s. Your sunrise at about 5:45 in the morning. During the afternoon hours, a mix of sun and clouds, so just a really nice day again tomorrow, very much like today with a couple of passing clouds. So sun and clouds, warmer and comfortable. Temperatures anywhere from the lower 80s to the upper 80s, but not humid tomorrow. Tomorrow's another dry day, but that all changes as we head into the work week. That's when we open up the floodgates. The heat comes in, the humidity comes in, and then as we head towards the end of the week, a heat breaker comes through, the cold front, which will cool things down for the weekend.
Yeah, it looks really nice next weekend if we can just hang in there.
Hopefully that'll stick around.
All right, thanks, Steve.
Okay. Up next in sports, today a Redskins quarterback put on a great show and comes back to the States with hardware. Hakeem will explain next. Something we've seen a couple of times, the Nats, they get so close, and then.
Yep, the Nats took the fun out of fundamental tonight.
Well, it happens.
Yeah.
Late in the game.
Base running is fundamental in the big leagues, and it's something that is usually not even talked about. Well, tonight we are talking about it because a base running blunder abruptly ended a Nationals comeback in the bottom of the ninth. The Nats fall 4-3 to the Indians. Here's how it went down. Bottom two, no score. Dimitri Young leads off facing Paul Bird. Dimitri rips one to right field. Check out Franklin Gutierrez. That is lovely. Great grab, Gutierrez, and robs Dimitri of an extra base hit. Top three now. Matt Chico pitching to Grady Sizemore. He hits a hard shot to first. Dimitri Young knocks it down. Then Young scoops it up and tosses it to Chico for the out. Dimitri, you know, he's nimble for a big guy, and even he gets a chuckle out of that. Top nine. Nats lead 3-1. Chad Cordero on to close the door, but Victor Martinez has other ideas. Martinez, with two aboard, crushes the ball to deep center field. The Indians take a 4-3 lead just like that on Martinez's 3-run homer. It's Cordero's 6th blown save this season. Bottom of the ninth. Bases loaded, one out for Felipe Lopez. He bounces one back to the pitcher, Joe Borowski. He throws it home to get the fourth, then the blunder occurs. Kelly Shopik throws the third. Nook Logan gets caught, rounding the bag. He's tagged out to end the game. The Indians hang on 4-3. Manager Manny Acta not pleased.
Well, you have to be aggressive, but not to that point. I mean, the play is in front of him. I mean, he doesn't need any help. He's seeing every step of the play develop in front of him. He was just a little bit over-aggressive and got too far away, but gotta live with it.
The two teams finish up the series tomorrow afternoon. Oregon State and North Carolina locked up in the College World Series tonight. It's a rematch of last year's collegiate championship where the Beavers captured the school's first title. As for the Tar Heels, they've been to the series 6 times in school history, but have yet to come away with the trophy. We're in Omaha, Nebraska for Game 1. First inning, Oregon State slugger Matt Lisman facing UNC's Alex White. Lisman tries to bunt, but he pops it up. Everyone charges. Watch White. Dives and makes the nice snow cone catch. However, White would feel the pain in the next inning. Bottom of the second, man on for Jordan Leonardton. Drives the ball to deep right center field. That's not coming back. The 2-run blast puts the Oregon State Beavers up 2-0. They go on to win Game 1 in the best-of-3 series, 11-4 the final. Redskins backup quarterback Casey Bramlett played like a champion today. Bramlett was named the most valuable player for his phenomenal performance in the World Bowl Championship. Bramlett playing for the Hamburg Sea Devils of NFL Europe through a World Bowl record, 4 touchdowns. There he is, Casey Bramlett. His team taking on the defending champs, the Frankfurt Galaxy, in World Bowl 15. First half, Bramlett hands it off to Jermaine Allen. Allen tosses it back to Bramlett. He goes deep and up top to Marcus Maxwell. 35-yard touchdown. Sea Devils up 13-0. Third quarter now. Hamburg up by 2. Bramlett fakes the handoff, then the reverse, drops back again and finds, this time, Josh Davis wide open. 50-yard touchdown. Hamburg wins 37-28, and Casey Bramlett named MVP. He threw for 347 yards and a World Bowl record 4 touchdowns. DC United is trying to extend its 7-game unbeaten streak tonight against Real Salt Lake, a team that has been beaten all season. However, it's United who's getting beat right now late in the second half. This week, Real Salt Lake traded for Robbie Finley. He put on a pretty impressive performance tonight, 40th minute. Finley dribbles the ball into the open space, beats the defender, kicks it past the backup goalie, Jay Nolly. Pretty nice. Not for United, though. Finley would score again, 2 goals in his debut as DC United trails 2-0 right now, late in the second half. The Washington Mystics picked up their 2nd win in 3 games tonight. Hopefully, it's a sign of good things to come after starting the season 0-8. Tonight, the Mystics on the road in Chicago. Second half. Nikki Teasley passes it down low to Monique Curry posting up. She dishes it to the cutting Nakia Sanford for the bucket. Mystics up 10 at this point. Still in the third. Elena Beard running the floor. She goes baseline, and watch this. It's pretty nice. Flips it up and in. She finished with 17 points, 6 assists. The Mystics beat the Sky 99-86. It's the Mystics' 2nd win in 3 games. And finally, a golf shot you have to see from the Champions Tour. We're in Massachusetts at the Bank of America Championship. Massey Kermodo on the par 3 17th. Golf fans, you will love this shot. Looked good from the tee. Watch this. Ball lands right on the green. Rolls right into the cup for a hole-in-one. Check out Kermodo's reaction. I love it. Loves it. Kermodo finished the day at 1 under and is tied for 12th. How about that?
Oh my God. He was ready. He was ready to go.
Way to finish your round.
Did he win a car or anything?
No.
You always hope there's something good.
Sometimes they do, but no, he didn't win a car, but he got a hole-in-one.
Got my
Fantastic.
admiration.
All right.
Well, that's it for us. Stay tuned for Saturday Night Live. It's next.
We'll see you again tomorrow night. Have a great one.